Hey guys, Mitch from Swap Time here. We got the LT2 Intake on my LE2 engine, playing Legos like I like to do. Try to figure out different combinations to get this stuff to fit our vehicles the best we can. First off, you do have to modify the LT2 Intake. It's pretty easy. What you need to do is shave the back part of the intake on the bottom here. So you want to grind down the ribs. I use a die grinder with a 36 grit flap wheel. So you hit that, and then right in this area, it'll hit the top of the mechanical fuel pump right here. So I put a couple washers on top of the mechanical fuel pump, then bolted this down. And once I did that, I heated up the heat gun, and then that gave it a little bit of depression. And then that worked great. Throw that on there. Get this cord out of the way. So then I threw on the 2020 new style Silverado pump. I didn't think this would fit, but it actually does. So with it bolted down, it clears the bleed, and then this comes out in just the right spot. So this is going to work really well for, let's say you have a Jeep JK, you do a Gen 5 conversion. This intake is a happy medium where it's going to give you better hood clearance than the 6.2 truck intake. And then the routing is pretty nice. We have plenty of clearance with your throttle body and your alternator. The intake itself is, again, a happy medium between high-end horsepower and low-end torque. It's basically in the middle ground of that. So I'm pretty excited. I think this will give us nice gains on 5.3s and 6.2s for our muscle cars and off-road vehicles. The 6.2 and 5.3 truck intakes, no matter what, those long runners will give you the best torque for low end. So it gives you a little bit better drivability. Where this, we should be able to make good power up to about 6,400 RPM. Where the truck intakes, they die around 5,900 RPM. So this is going to be a big help. I'm going to throw this on my 68 Firebird because that's a lightweight car. I wanted to get more RPMs out of it. So instead of it going to 5,900, see if I can get up to 6,400, 6,500 RPM and see how it performs. But these intakes are pretty affordable. They're actually probably the most affordable intake you can get on these. They're $190. So basically they're below 200 bucks. I got off mine from Summit Racing and got it the next day. So very cool. The other, a few changes you'll have to make to get this to work is your PCV vacuum port right here comes off the top. So you'll have to connect that to your system, no big deal. And your map sensor is on this side. Yeah, you can see it. This side of the intake. So you'll need to get a map extension harness. I make those no problem, because the map on the truck intakes is here. So you need to have it extended to run behind it and connect it there. There is no vacuum port in the back. This is the only vacuum port. And your purge valve, it's on this side directly behind the valve, the throttle body. So pretty cool intake. I got the cover coming in soon, so that'd be hopefully less than 2 weeks. The dealer had it, but it's going to take a little while for them to ship it. So that'll transform the way this looks. Doesn't look bad at all, but it looks unfinished. So this is the LT2. Now I'll show you the issue when running the LT1 intake. So with this LT2 being in the back of the Corvette, they have a lot of room, so they made a bigger intake. Basically, I think this is optimized for best horsepower and torque for the vehicle, since they have the room. It's a 3% improvement of power over the LT1 design, so that's pretty cool. But several issues if you try to throw an LT1 intake with this water pump. Well, one, it's pretty much impossible. So your throttle body is right in this area, so you cannot use this water pump. I have a Holley Mid-Mount drive that will clear the LT1, but the LT1 is not the best performing intake. It gives you a lot of high RPM availability. That's where it makes the most power, but obviously you want a little bit longer runner. The runners are so short in this. You're going to lose a lot of low wind. So this intake's a pretty big deal. What I like about this water pump, you know, you can get the water pump for about $260, $300. Reuse your alternator. You have better hose routing. Then we make a power steering pump setup. You can bolt here. I haven't released it yet because the gentleman that designed it, we're still working out a deal. So, but that setup works really nice, and it's pretty affordable, but you have to run the truck intake. So I'll grab this is a L83 truck intake. All right, so L83 truck intake. This throttle body, it actually kicks up instead of kicking down. So you have a lot of clearance. These are a great intake. Obviously optimized for a truck 5.3. The throttle body is a bit smaller. So I'm thinking the LT2 should wake up a 5.3. You know, these make 355 horsepower. Hopefully that intake will give you about 20 horsepower. But that'll just have to be tested. But these are a pretty tall intake, and on some of your vehicle conversions you just don't have the height. I was really surprised on my Firebird that this would fit at all. I didn't think this would fit under the hood, and it does. I mean, I probably have a ½ inch to spare, if that, but that was pretty cool, and it saved me some money, because if this did not fit my muscle car, I'm now going to an LT1 design, and then my accessory drive has to be changed, and it gets expensive. So I've been looking at how to do this, how to get a shorter intake and not spend thousands of dollars on an accessory drive. So on LT1 intake, you can get to work with the stock water pump. The truck design. So this goofy thing has enough clearance down here to clear, but the hose routing is not the best. So I don't like using these, but it can be done. So I've been piecing things together. I got the Holley Mid-Mount. You know, this thing, if you get the whole system from Holley, it's like $2,600, $2,800, which is pretty insane. So I just pieced it together from Holley. I just went on their website and bought just the bare casting of the water pump. And then what's cool, the Gen 5 water pump bolts right to it. And I started seeing what I can do. But the downside to this, the mid-mount setup, is the spacing. You can't use a stock balancer. It doesn't line up. I haven't tried an LT4 balancer yet to see if that works. I have to buy it. I don't have one on hand. I don't want to pull it off my truck. So I bought their balancer, but it's for an LS engine. Their balancer is under $300, but because it's for an LS engine, it doesn't have the keyway in it. And I don't know if I can just add a keyway, so I'm playing with that. Or else you're buying an aftermarket balancer they sell for the mid-mount that's $700 or $800, which shoots the price right back up. So for now, this water pump design, I like it. Semi-affordable, you know, you're still going to have about $800 in your drive, but it looks really nice. You have nice hose routing, which is really important. I mean, it's vital when you go to put this in your car and your radiator, let's say, has both outlets on one side. It's like for an LS conversion. Well, now you're having to wrap a hose and do all this, where if you use your stock radiator, you have an outlet up here and one on the bottom. So it works out really nice for this LT2, LT4, LT7 water pump. These are a little hard to get, but you can find them. Part number is 12683468. ICT Belt sells them, and of course you can get them from your dealer. And it's a nice clean setup. Alternator mounts kind of the same, not alternator, the AC compressor mounts the same position and everything. You don't need an AC bracket or anything. I'm gonna grab the camera. Try to be somewhat smooth with this. So here's the intake. So pretty cool. Take a quick peek at this. But yeah, you really got to figure out your accessory drive when you do this. It's actually a huge cost to doing these swaps. You know, you get an engine for $1,800 sometimes, but then you could spend almost $1,000 to $2,000 on a drive. So you stay with stock components, OEM stuff, and that will save a little bit. And the LT2 intake is pretty cool. Excited to try it out and get back with you guys. You know, I think combined with the bigger throttle body, like this is a 5.3. The 5.3s are smaller than the 6.2s. Makes it feel more responsive, and makes the pedal a little bit more sensitive. So pretty cool mod to do. But this is all I got for you today. Just wanted to get a video out. Haven't done one in a while. This is pretty interesting. I'm trying to get my workspace set up to do better videos. So I got good lighting in here. We got flooring put in. Got a little bit of a backdrop, which is actually my privacy curtain because my neighbors don't like me doing anything in my garage. So if I have the door open, no one can really see what I'm doing. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching.